this is Jordan with Paddle Bros Fishing, and we're in my backyard today. We will be hitting the river later, but we wanted to show you a little bit. It's obviously very cold, as you can see, if you can see that, but it's really cold, but it is never too cold to go fishing, as we proved in our last video. So if you haven't checked that one out, we went ice fishing. Check it out. It was a blast, and we had a great time. It was our first time. Today what we're going to show you is we're going to do a little bit of the basics of fly fishing. So I don't think we've ever shown fly fishing on the channel yet, but we're going to in the future. And so what we're starting off with today is this is just a Cabela's setup. I got this a couple years ago and I've had it and it does the job. There's always going to be an argument out there for more expensive, you know, what do I need, what do I want? And my opinion on that is whatever gets the job done. If it gets the job done and it does it good enough, then in my opinion that's all you need to get started. If you want to upgrade in the future, that's great, but as you can see, I don't fly fish enough to want or need that upgrade. This Cabela's setup is great for that, so we'll go ahead and get that out and show you. Just a Cabela's Prestige. There you go. Cabela's Prestige, 9-foot, 4-piece, and then I have a Cabela's 3 Forks reel. And the thing I like about this is it collapsed to, I mean, it is so small. It is so nice to be able to carry this around instead of a big bulky fishing pole, and you can just put this wherever, strap it on your shoulder and go. So we'll get it all hooked up here. I'll drop that in, and it's a really simple setup. All you do is just put it like that, and you just want to line up where you got your hook placement there, where you can put your hook when you're not using it. Stack it in there like that. If you're new to fly fishing, at least with this model, it has different than most. If you can see that, it's a curved, it's not an eye, which I really like because I've never broken any of these. Don't quote me on that, because hopefully that won't be a future thing to happen. But anyway, so there's your setup, and good to go. Alright, so now that we got our pole all together, I was saying earlier how it had different flies. If you look down below, the first two are actual normal looking eyes, like on a normal fishing pole. There's the second one, and then you go to the wire. There's that. So it's just, I mean, again, this is not a $200 setup. I think this was maybe $60, $70 when I bought it. And so, you know, for buying a pole, that seems pretty expensive, but when you're getting into fly fishing, that's really all you need. You're not going to need, you know, different reels and stuff like that. So what you do is there's a little notch in the reel right there. I'll take that off so you can see it again. But so there's a notch in the metal piece, and there's your reel seat. So you can slide it in there and then find your other side, which is right there. So we're just going to slide that in there, match them up. You got two different secure pieces, so we're going to tighten both those real tight. And as you can see, there's a little bit of wobble. I usually like to really cinch it down, and so this is the wrong reel for the pole, but just for a demonstration, there it is. Alright, y'all, so we got it on there. I went ahead and just put a zip tie on there just so it wouldn't flop around as I'm showing, but there's your basic setup. So now what you want to do is we're going to thread it through, and I'll get to all this later, but what we're going to do here is you want to make sure that it's coming out, so you can see that the line right here is underneath. Make sure it goes all the way underneath, and out so your reel can spin freely. So now we're going to thread it, and just like any other pole, there's nothing special to it. Just put it through the eye like that and thread it all the way up. Okay, so we went ahead and thread it through. Now you want to pull your main line through, and there you go. So you typically want to do that before you tie on a fly or anything. So that is the basic setup, and next we are going to show some casting techniques. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is, what I typically do is I'll have a line on the ground when I'm casting out. You don't want to keep your line super tight and with nothing, no slack here, and I'll show you why in just a minute. But what you do first is right-handed or left-handed. I'll show you both. So right-handed, what you're going to do is you're going to put your hand underneath and hold the pole like that. And then what I typically do is I'll take my forefinger and pin it. And what that does is that, depending on your drag, it'll allow it, if you don't have your finger on there and your drag's super light, it's just going to keep spinning out, and pretty soon you'll have a mess wrapping around you or hooking your face. And so forefinger underneath, line like that, and I pin it against the rod. Is you take your left hand and you grab out some line. So what I typically do is I'll grab it out, and as soon as it hits the ground, that's typically where I stop. The reason I like that is because that's my casting distance. So I have all of my line out here. You can see how much is here, if I can grab it. There we go. So you can see how much before the actual leader and the tippet. So, and then what happens is that won't be my full cast out. As I'm casting out, I'm going to let my finger go, and most of that line, when I get the pole going, it'll go out. So second step, grab your line like this, or let it fall down, but I usually like to hold it in my left hand. So third step, the way you stand is actually quite important, because if your feet are close together, you're going to be out of balance. When you're casting, you're going to be doing this all day. By the end of the day, your back is going to be killing you and your hips are going to be killing you. So what you want to do is a nice, just shoulder length stance like that. You can see my shoulders are really relaxed. That's important too, because if you're casting like this all day, you will feel it before you even go to bed. You will be quite sore. So nice, relaxed shoulders. Again, line in my forefinger pinned, hand here, and that is step 3. So the next step is actual casting. So again, most of the time when you cast a fishing pole, it's going to be right over your head, cast out, aim where you're going. With fly fishing, what you want to do is you actually want to kind of go to the side like this, and what that's going to do is, one, that's getting you out of the range of that line so you don't accidentally hit yourself. But what it's going to do too is your fly, when it hits the water, it's going to kind of come in like this and plop down. It's not just going to come straight in and hit the water, because fish are, I mean, they're really smart and they can see everything in the water. And so if you see a fly hit and they see a big long string on it, I mean, I would be surprised if they hit that. So again, what you want to do is left hand out, cast a couple times like this, and once your line starts getting out horizontal like that, and it's not flagging like this, you're going to cast out and let go of your left hand. And what you don't want is precisely that. You don't want it to snap. So if you can see that when I'm casting right here, what I want is I want a nice slow follow out, and I don't want it to go out and then snap back, because what that's going to do to your fly is it's going to go out and hit the water real hard and probably splash. So nice, you can see my shoulders are relaxed, my feet are apart, left hand is working, and what I'm doing here is I'm pulling. Pull, out, pull, out, pull, out, just like that. So we showed you the basic cast. All the fundamentals for this one are the same. And so again, line out, finger pinned, shoulders and everything are nice and relaxed. So we're gonna pull in most of our line. If you can see, I'll show you. So that's where my line is coming here for this cast. And then I'll show you what how much I typically have. I mean, it's going it's all wrapped around me and I still don't have the end. So this is obviously for a lot shorter, not shorter cast, but a shorter backdrop. So I'm going to pull my line in till where it about hits my hand right there. You can see that it's real short. So here's the end. And then what you're going to do is you're going to have quite a bit on the ground. So you have quite a bit of slack there. I'm going to start really working. Now again, you don't want to rip it back and forth, or you'll start getting that snapping action, if you can hear that. So that is what we don't want. So what you want to do again is just nice, easy cast like this. Bring it back, and then when you're ready to go out, really rip it. So rip it out like that. It doesn't give you as nice of a presentation on the water, but I mean, at the end of the day, if that's what you got, that's what you got. I mean, go to a different spot, keep working the river. And so I'll show you that one more time. So we're gonna go out and really rip it forward. And I'm letting the line just fly through my hand at that point. If you need another cast, pull it down, come out, and rip it forward. You don't even necessarily need to, once you get good at it, you don't need to sit here and go back and forth, because what it is I'm using the momentum of the line to go out, and then it comes back in, just like that. So if you can see, we'll use my son's truck as a example of that. So I'm going to pull most of it in. I'm going to come out, go forward once, twice, 3 times, and then really rip it out. Pull it in, rip it out. You can see I'm getting more and more line as I do that. So it's not the amount of what you're doing, it's the momentum. So I'm pulling it back and ripping it out like that. Okay. One more cast that we're going to show you is if you are in even tighter and you're working a really, really small hole, what you can do is you can actually snap it. So what you do is you take your left hand or your right hand, whichever you're using, pull it back and release it like that. And it definitely takes some skill and some getting used to it, but you can get pretty good at it. And I'll just leave it like that and keep going back and forth. You don't obviously want to rip it real hard, and then when you release you can let your finger off so you don't get that bad presentation. But if you're working something just right here in this area where my pull is, I mean, obviously the fish are probably going to see you anyway, but if you are in that tight of a spot and you want to make a cast, then that's a good way to do it. So obviously I'm not going to be as good left-handed because I'm a dominant right-hander, but what I'm going to show you here is for those that are left-handed, hopefully I can give you a better picture of it. So I'm going to pin it here, pull it out with my right hand, and just nice, easy, gentle cast like that. So come out, pin it underneath, hand out or on the ground, nice, close to your body, relax shoulders like that. And I'm obviously using more of my arm because I'm not used to left-handed, but I'm going to do a nice, easy, mostly wrist cast, and it's going to go out there nice and easy. We went over the basics of the pole, the reel. We're going to go down to the water and show you a little bit more of the specifics. So we're going to talk about line, flies, so there's a lot more to come in the video, so stay tuned for that.